Hey, welcome back to How to Barbecue Right. Today we're going to be talking about doing a London broil roast out on the grill. We've got a lot of questions about how to do these. And first you got to kind of know what a London broil is. You can find them in the supermarkets, but oftentimes they're really mislabeled. London broil is not a cut of beef. It's really pertaining to the way it's prepared, and it's usually just a roast that has been marinated. It's been seared on the outside, then finished off in some heat to a medium temperature, and it's great for slicing. Now the cut that you see often labeled as London broil in the supermarket is what I have here, and it's really a top round roast. This one weighs in about 3.5 pounds, and that's pretty normal. So the first thing we're gonna do to this London broil is get it ready for the marinade. And a roast like this is tough. It has a lot of connective tissue. It comes from a part of the cow where it's worked a lot and it's a big muscle. So it's not gonna be, it doesn't have a lot of fat, doesn't have a lot of marbling. You wanna get it tender. What I like to do is use my jaccard and kind of get it tenderized a little. And what it is, it's got a lot of little sharp needle-like points on it, and it's gonna go down into the meat and penetrate it, and it just breaks it down a little bit. It's gonna help the seasoning get down in it, it's gonna help the marinade get down in it, and it's gonna make it tender, and all the little holes are gonna fill back in when it cooks, and you'll never know it was done. Also, if you don't have a jaccard, you could use a metal skewer, a knife, even a fork, just to penetrate it. You just wanna make some little holes. Now we're gonna get some seasoning on it. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start with that little salt, pepper, and garlic you see me use. It's my AP mixture. Not real heavy because we're going into marinade, but we want to get some seasoning on it. Now we can drop the roast down in a big 2.5 gallon bag. So the next parts are marinade. We're going to get our wet ingredients in. I'm starting with about a cup of my barbecue sauce. Use any sauce you like here. Then we've got some balsamic vinegar, some extra virgin olive oil, and a little bit of chopped garlic. Just give it a quick whisk. We're going to pour this right over the roast. Now you want to roll it down. Get as much air out as possible. And then just make sure the roast is covered. Now all we need to do is refrigerate this roast for 4 to 5 hours, and we're gonna be ready to cook it. We'll show you that in just a little bit. So I let the London broil hang out in the refrigerator for 4 hours in the marinade. Then I took it out of the bag, just kind of let the excess drip off. It's okay if it's wet, and it's okay if there's a little like garlic still stuck on it. It's gonna give it more flavor. Since we went ahead and tenderized it with the jaccard, I know it's gonna be tender. It's gonna help us out there. Only thing we need to do now is get some more seasoning on it. And that's where I like to use a coarse grain seasoning. My steak and chop rub, it's great. It's kind of like a Montreal seasoning, but it's got a little bit more of a kick. So we're just gonna create kind of a bark on the outside with this coarse ground rub. And you can use whatever you like. If you like your favorite Montreal, if you wanna mix up your own, that's fine too. Flip it over and do the same thing. This point, it's a good time to notice which way your grain's running, because when it's done, just like a brisket flat, we want to slice this London broil across the grain. It's going to make it even more tender. Now the only thing we need to do is go outside and fire up the grill. But the technique I'm using to cook this London broil is going to be my reverse sear. We're going to keep the grill down low at first, between about 275, 300 degrees. We're going to slowly bring the internal temperature up of this roast. You're gonna need a good thermometer to do it. I'm gonna be using my chef alarm. It's got a probe that I can stick in the London broil. I wanna make sure I go in the middle of it where I can watch those temps. If you don't have a probe like this, at least get you an inexpensive one like the new Thermopop they have on the market. These things are about 25 bucks, I think is what they're going for on their website. They're super fast. Now they'll read temps within 3 or 4 seconds. So you at least need to have one of these. I'm gonna go outside and fire the green egg up. We'll be ready to put this London broil right on the grill. Let's get started. All right, so we're out here at my big green egg, and I've got it fired up today with some good lump charcoal. I used a little wax cube to get it started. Wanted to make sure I got my air holes where some air can get in the bottom, get up through the fire grate. Once that lump coal's ready, it takes it about 20 minutes. Spread it out a little bit and go ahead and get your wood on it. I'm going with a couple pieces of pecan and a couple pieces of hickory. It's gonna be plenty of smoke. Got my vents just kind of cracked open to get it to come up, and then I'll tune them down once the temperature gets up at about 250, 275 degrees. The bottom should be open just about 1 inch. That's gonna be plenty of airflow. You're gonna have your heat shield in there so we can keep those temps down, because the first part of this cooking process for the London broil is just gonna be the smoke process, indirect heat. You can do this on any grill. You're just gonna need an indirect side first for some low temperatures. And then when we get ready to sear the London broil, you're gonna need a hot side. We're gonna ramp those temps up to get us some good grill marks on it. Let's get this London broil on the pit. I've got my meat probe in it already. Just gonna take it and place it on the center here. Straighten it up a little. It's good to go. The first temp setting we're looking for is about 110 internal. That's gonna bring it up nice and slow in the smoke and let it absorb some of it. Then we're gonna take the grill off, get the heat shield out, let that lump charcoal get real good and hot. We're gonna put our grill grates on and sear this London broil. Really turn it into something special there at the end. Let's get it closed and we're gonna do some cooking. All right, so our alarm's going off and you can see we don't creep up to about 112. That's as high as I wanted to take it on this reverse sear part. Now it's time to go ahead and get the London broil off. I'm just gonna set it on a platter here, get a little aluminum foil over it. I'm gonna take the grate off and set the heat deflector out in just a second. I'm gonna put the grate right back in. Now we're back to direct cooking. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the grill, set it all the way open, crack it to where it can climb up. I want it to get up to 500 degrees pretty quick. All right, you can see I've got the egg temp up to 500 degrees. I'm gonna keep letting it climb a little bit. I'm not really worried about shutting it off. What we wanna do is barely raise the lid, let some of that heat off so it don't flash you. Now I put my grill grates in as well, so they're screaming hot too. Now we're gonna put the London broil right back on, kind of at an angle. Get the lid closed. We're gonna set a timer for 3 minutes. What we're gonna do is 6 minutes each side, but we're gonna give it that twist so we get some really good grill marks. All right, it's been 3 minutes, so I'm just gonna give it a quick twist here. Get it to a new hot spot and close the lid. 3 more minutes, it'll be time to flip. All right, we're ready for the flip. That's been 6 minutes. So I'm just gonna use this grill grate spatula to help me out here. Get it up here on a new spot. So we got some good grill marks on it. I'm gonna let this side cook about 5 to 6 minutes, but I'll check the temp here in about 2.5 minutes to see where it's at. Wanna make sure I get it off when it's a good medium rare. All right, we're giving it one last rotate here. 45 degrees. We'll go ahead and check it with the thermal pop, just to see where we're at. 135, 130. It's right in there registering where we want it, 129. I might let it go just another minute on this side. That's gonna be perfect. All right. I know this London broil is ready. It's temping out 130 degrees internal. And it's still gonna carry over a little bit more once we bring it in and let it rest. Just like any piece of meat, you wanna let it rest, especially with one we're cooking like this. I mean, look at the marks it got on it. It's beautiful. It's got a pretty color to it. Can't wait to try it. I know it's gonna be just right at medium rare. It's gonna be perfect. Okay, we brought the London broil inside and I just let it hang out in that platter for about 15 minutes. I really wanted to stop cooking. And it calms down. I don't lose as much juice that way. What juice ran out in the platter, you want to keep that too, because you can use that for dipping later on. But what I want to do is go ahead and show you how we're going to cut this. And remember, the grain on this London broil was running longwise, so we want to make sure we cut it across. So I'm going to start here at the end. Now, the end will be a little more done. If you got people that like it that way, that's fine. I kind of like to keep my knife on a little bit of a bias, kind of an angle, and just make strokes. You want to keep them kind of at the end. As we get over into the middle, it's going to get a little more rare, which is what I want to see. Now we're starting to get into some medium, still getting some good pink color to it. We're across the grain, so that's going to make our slices tender. There we go. Now we're getting into some medium rare. That's where you know it's good. It's still got some good juice in it. You talk about make a good sandwich or go with some mashed potatoes and some of this gravy. That's what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna keep slicing. Ooh, it smells good. It's still hot. I'm gonna give me a piece out of the middle here. Because you know this is my favorite part of the day when I get to try this London broil. It's got a ton of flavor. You know, I taste the peppers, I taste the salt, I can taste that marinade that we soaked it in for 4 hours. So let's talk about how easy this was. First, I went to the store and bought a London broil. Remember, it's a top round roast. That London broil is just how you prepare it. We brought it home, took it out of the package, jaccarded it, got it tenderized, seasoned it with a little salt, pepper, garlic, that AP rub, got it in the marinade with some barbecue sauce, balsamic vinegar, olive oil, a couple cloves of garlic chopped up. Let it marinate for 4 hours. Then we brought it out of the marinade, had our grill going indirect heat for the first part, about 250, 275 degrees, doing a reverse sear. We brought it up to 110 internal, then we took the heat deflector in, got it some direct heat going, fired it up to 500 degrees. Then we put the roast back on each side, about 6 minutes each side. We got those beautiful grill marks by turning it every 3 minutes. Then we let it rest, and that's all you have to do to cook this London broil. Hey, I hope you try this recipe. I promise you it's great. Check out these videos we're gonna be putting out all year long. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time.